It's
Well,
the way they do things in the cooking and the way they explain things. I don't know how much of it is truthful or not, how much of it is actually what could happen, but it's still interesting to me.
alright. The next show we're going to be talking about is Shokugeki no Souma.
Food Wars!
Third season. Second
The season or the series you're never going to watch.
part.
Never, ever, ever, ever going to watch. I've only watched the first episode to this season, and I mean, more of the same thing. It seems like at the beginning of the season. Shoot, again, names. Can't remember the main girl's name, the blonde-haired one. She's been tormented by her father for so long, and it has now come out into light for her that Souma, the guy who she has absolutely despised up to this point, is the father of the one chef that she absolutely adores.
The son.
Or did Souma's the father? Or sorry, yes, sorry. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so yeah, and so at least this first episode for the beginning of this course, she gave more background as to why that was the case, and it was kind of cool. She had already been kind of hammered by her father and whatnot. She had been pressured because of her taste buds and saying she has the god tongue. You know, people were having her taste test things, trying to find the perfection to a dish and whatnot. But her taste testing had been canceled, so she was wandering around her grandfather's estate. And that's when Soma's father had gone to her grandfather's estate and was actually serving him some dishes. And from the very beginning, she immediately smelled the food he was serving, and it actually made her curious. She actually wanted to try something on her own volition. Mm-hmm. And so he did, or she did, he allowed her to try some of the dishes. And it was, it was an eye-opening experience for her. And some of the things that she had thought about and some of the things that she had said about food and her perception of it were changed because of that. Okay. She actually thought that cooking and food were more about fun and being creative and creation of those dishes rather than being very structured and this is how it has to be kind of thing. He originally before she did that, Soma created a dish for her because in the very beginning when they first met, she asked him to create an egg dish for her, and even though she liked it, she wasn't exactly like blown away by it, so she said it was disgusting. Mm-hmm. And he had said that I'm going to get you to tell me that one of my dishes is delicious. I will get you to tell me that. And before all that background came up, he sat her down because she wanted to talk to him about the fact of who his father was. And he made a dish, but he made another egg dish. And how he had done it was he actually froze the egg, and he hard-boiled it just enough to get it to where it was, he hard-boiled it just enough to get it to where the actual outside was solid, and then he froze it. So he peeled it, froze it, and then he basically deep fried it. But because he froze it, all the yolk inside of it congealed and concentrated, and then when he deep fried it, it still retained its shape, but it had a nice flaky crust, and the insides actually became all liquid. So it concentrated the flavor. I mean, there was things that go on with that, and concentrated the flavor. And she was impressed that he had found, because he used subpar quality eggs. Mm-hmm. They weren't the highest grade from the best bird or whatever. He literally used subpar grade eggs. And she's like, why? He's like, well, because if you use something too high grade, it would completely overwhelm everything. It wouldn't be a nice, smooth, rich flavor. It would have become too much because this is already concentrating it and making it stronger than it was originally. Okay. You do anything more than that, it's going to become too much. And, that's when she's like, "Why? How did you think about that?" And, he ends up saying something very similar to what his dad said when they were first talking about you gotta be creative and think outside the box, basically, and you're cooking. And that's when she finally decides that she's going to basically muster up the courage and bring the fight to her father about food that they were cooking. Mm-hmm. So, again, I know not a whole lot from your perspective in what, because this is like the third season, second core now at this point, but it's
well,
the way they do things in the cooking and the way they explain things. I don't know how much of it is truthful or not, how much of it is actually what could happen, but it's still interesting to me. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to watch, and just like all the rest of them, just like Black Clover, just like My Hero Academia, here is another story of an underdog that nobody thinks can do anything because he's at this prestigious school where the top grade chefs of the world are supposed to come from, and his only background is working at a family restaurant. That's it. But he is always willing to push himself that much further, always willing to make the effort and learn something new and adapt and make things better. So
cool. I like checking in with this show to see when she's gonna find out that they're related. So that was cool. Okay. So my question was, what is the age difference between Souma and the girl? I mean, not Souma.
Yeah, Souma's the guy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does Souma mean?
The age difference, I'd say they're pretty close to age, honestly. They're maybe a few years apart from each other.
Okay. So then the dad would never, because
what?
He's the same age as his son. So.
Oh, wait. No, you're talking about the father? No, father's way older than the son.
Well, yeah. Well, I was know the age difference between all three of them.
Okay.
Is that even possible?
No.
Yeah.
Souma's dad would never. He's too focused on his own thing. Yeah. I mean, he's basically traveling the world right now while his son is in this prestigious school. So
yeah.
He
that would be kind of weird.
Drops by every now and then, so make an appearance.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's cool. I like hearing the food facts and the cool concepts about food. But
hey, I was quite impressed. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but if you haven't, you should. And anyone out there else who ever watching should. The React channel on YouTube actually did an episode because Crunchyroll sponsored them. Actually did an episode where it was a try not to eat challenge, and they recreated dishes from Food Wars for people to try. Or they show them the episode where the food came from, and then they'd actually put the real life dish in front of them that was the exact copy of that dish, and would go, "Now you're gonna eat it because it's a try not to eat challenge." You just saw what it looked like on the anime. Here it is in front of your face. What are you gonna do? So that tells me, though, that there's a really good chance that a lot of these dishes, a lot of these foods, this is real food.
Okay.
This is things people can actually make and do. So
cool.